Hello, hello. Welcome back to Peak Northwest, an outdoors and travel podcast by the Oregonian and Oregon Live, dedicated to the adventure and exploration of our beautiful Pacific Northwest. I'm Jamie Hale.
And I'm Chiara Profena. Together we take you to some of the most beautiful and interesting destinations in our region, discussing where to go, what to do, and places to see. And today we're talking about some post-holiday travel.
That's right. You know, there's so much emphasis placed on holiday travel, that time between Thanksgiving and New Year's, when the airports and train stations and the highways are all packed with people, and it seems like everybody is just going somewhere all the time. And it's so much that by the time we get to January, I feel like a lot of us are just like content to stay at home, hanging out on the couch. I don't want to go anywhere. I just want to like watch a movie and have a hot cup of tea and curl up under a blanket.
I feel that so much. I get so sick of travel by the winter time. I just want to just be a homebody completely.
Yeah. It's overwhelming.
It is.
That's the thing.
It also is like a great time to be like planning your trips and thinking about what you want to do as well. So it's also like nice to hunker down and focus on that.
And yet, it's also a low-key great time of year to actually go out there and do travel.
Exactly, because there's not a lot of people out there.
Exactly. So before we get into that piece of it, I want to ask you a question, and it's about New Year's resolutions. There's like a resolution culture, you could say. How do you feel about New Year's resolutions?
I am all for them. I think that a lot of people are, big haters. They either hate them or they love them. I feel like there's no middle ground here.
It's like pineapple on pizza.
Exactly.
Which is great for the record.
I'm so on the same page with you on this, so I'm
Thank
so
God.
glad that we agree here. But resolutions can be like really stressful for some people, so I get it. Like setting a goal and then not knowing if you'll be able to hit it, and if you don't hit it, being upset with yourself is so real. So I like to set more of like intentions or ideas of goals, like nothing like super duper tangible. But I do I'm like such a goals oriented person, and I'm such like a planner that I'd love to have just like something kind of driving me for the year.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, a new year is such a good opportunity to sort of start fresh, inject some new energy, especially like, whether it's the winter solstice or it's New Year's Day, or it's like the Lunar New Year, like that. There's that sense of newness that's a really good like energy to sort of push you forward. My take is that you don't need to make a resolution for the entire calendar year. I think some people get into trouble. They're like, this is my 2026 resolution. This next 12 months, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. That's too many months. I like to set these kinds of goals and intentions for like a season.
Fair.
For me, that's like way more manageable. 3 months, we can do something for 3 months. We can try it out. So if I get to a point where I'm like, boy, this is really difficult, I can at least be like, well, only a couple more months to go, and then we can sort of reassess at that point.
There's like a lot of motivation at the beginning of the year too. Like I feel like I've really locked in on the energy of it all. And so that's kind of helped propel me towards one of the things I wanted to do this year, especially in like the first quarter of the year, is get back into running. So I've kind of been on a hiatus for the holidays. It's just impossible for me to be running while I'm traveling and eating so much good food. So like the energy of New Year's resolutions and like this kind of culture is really helpful for pushing me into action and motivating me to do something. But is there something that you were planning for this first quarter?
I'm sort of, trying to get into more self-care, in particular, like waking up in the morning and doing like some yoga to start the day.
Yes.
Because I feel like so often I get out of bed and like I get into like a chair. And then I just sit in a chair for like 8 hours, and then I sit in another chair. You know what I mean? And it's just like too much sitting and doing. And so I'm like starting the day by like stretching my body, opening up my, hips and my joints. It feels so good. And so I'm trying to like wake up just a few days of the week, not really be crazy here, as much as possible. Just start the day with a little bit of physical movement.
And that's so easy to implement too. Just like wake up and stretch a little bit.
Yeah.
Who doesn't have 5-10 minutes to do that?
Exactly. Well, if you have a baby that wakes up also at the same time, then maybe not, but
you stretch with the baby.
Yeah, we try. We try. Well, so I mean, I feel like taking this energy into the new year, it's we still are sort of talking about like some sort of close to home stuff. But what I wanted to talk about this week was how do you get out there more when you are sort of struggling to sort of get out of this post-holiday phase, and like where is it that you can go? Because I think there's a lot of places you can go and a lot of things you can do, even though it's sort of the dead of winter right now.
Yeah, and I think like planning out what you can do as well and having like that resolution to get outside more is a big thing that I feel like almost everybody could benefit from. So what kind of a plan do you have? What locations are we looking at today?
Right. Well, I want to specify we're not going to talk about skiing today.
No.
I'm talking about skiing a lot lately, and that is not a part of our situation. So when I'm going outside this time of year, I'm more of a lowlands guy. So I'm looking at like these places where there's not going to be snow. I know people like to go out in search of the snow. I'm really like, where is there going to be no ice? Where can I drive in my car and I walk around in regular clothes and have a good time? So, I mean, coming from the Portland area, I'm looking a lot at sort of like, these riverside areas or like these sort of like, more urban and suburban forests. So like not in the Cascades, not in the Coast Range, in the Willamette Valley itself. You can find a lot of really beautiful places to hike that are open year round and that are beautiful. Of course, my go-to is Oxbow Park. I'm sure we've talked about it so many times in the years of podcast. But Oxbow Regional Park, it's run by Metro. It's on the Sandy River. It's this great combination of like old growth forest, relatively old growth forest, and riverside stuff. And in the winter, it can really be sort of a mixed bag when it comes to the river of it all. This is obviously not a time of year when you're going to want to like get in the water.
Right.
In fact, the last time I was there in December, it was very flooded. And we ended up getting a bit, not stuck, but we got pretty muddy just trying to get down to the water. So it's not really a riverside destination this time of year, but the forest itself, that's the thing. We talked about this in the fall of like getting out there, getting that like twilight vibe.
Right.
And you still kind of have that. It's just a little bit crisper, a little bit frostier this time of year. So getting out there and getting these big, evergreen trees and getting the mist rolling in off the water, I think it's great to be out there and sort of breathe in that fresh, cool air.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God, absolutely. Especially like every now and then you get a really nice sunny day. Like the past couple days have been really cold, but like a little bit sunny too, which is one of my favorite like combinations of weather is like cold but a little sunny.
Yeah.
So I feel like you can definitely kind of prioritize those days to get outside and like take advantage of the sun. That's like obviously so important living here is just like every chance that I get, I am going outside when it's sunny, especially during the winter.
If you want to like take full advantage of that sunshine, going out to some of these great beach spots on the Columbia River, Soggy Island beaches or like Rooster Rock, places on the Columbia River Gorge, you bring your rain boots because it's going to be flooded, a lot of it, but there's the big open spaces with these beautiful views. You can get just a lot of sun. It's just a different kind of beach experience. Again, you're not wearing, a bathing suit. Some people are, that's fine. But like, you can at least get out there and just get some like, wind and some air and some sunlight in your face. Exactly.
Yeah. And I feel like that's so important, especially when everybody's just sitting on their couch and you can take your warm coffee or your hot chocolate, take a step outside. That's like one of the most comforting things you can do.
Packing getting a good thermos full of like nice tea and taking it out to like nature somewhere. I love that. You crack it open and it's still steaming. Oh boy.
So what other places do you have?
I love Tryon Creek State Park in Southwest Portland. It's, the only state park in Portland city limits, I believe. But this is sort of more forest vibes. You've got like, your creeks and the bridges. It's really cool in the snow. But if it's not snowing, it's just a great spot to just sort of get into the woods. It's more one of those more deciduous forests. So it's more sort of like bare branch, a lot of it. but you get some good evergreens in there too. It's just a nice little place to go walking. There's some hills in there, so you get a little bit of some exercise, which I also think is part of it for me. Like getting in a little, get the blood pumping a little bit is always helpful, not to just warm up the body, but to like, for, that self-care aspect, you want to, get your circulation going, get your blood, get your muscles moving, not be so stagnant.
Yeah, I kind of want to check some of these places out for more trail running as well, because I feel like that's what I'm going to be getting more into this winter as well, is I got to start practicing those hills, and trails are like one of the best places to run as well. Like, I know you're a huge hiker, but I think trail running is more my speed.
Yeah, I mean, it does get a little muddy. You got to be prepared for the mud.
There's shoes for that.
I bet. Yeah. I mean, Forest Park then too is always an option. And it's, again, one of these places that like is so large and complex that it's sort of hard to talk too much about without talking too much about it. But like, I mean, you can just sort of go in there, pick an entry point and run around. Don't get lost. And you can, have a lot of fun exploring Forest Park.
Yeah, that's what I did last weekend, actually. Just
amazing.
10-mile trail run through Forest Park, essentially. And I did not recognize any part that I was in. Luckily, I was with a group, so like I wasn't going to get lost, but I realized like I have never seen this part of the park before. So it's just kind of nice that it's just right there too. Yeah.
I mean, I think the takeaway is that there's just so many places to get outside.
Yeah.
That there's really no excuse to be like, oh, well, I don't have anywhere. It's winter, so I can't go outside anywhere. You definitely can. You put on you bundle up a little bit, but you can just wear your regular clothes and go outside, and getting that small little dose of nature, I don't know, for me, does a lot this time of year.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I 100% agree with you. And then a little bit further away from the Portland metro area, you've obviously got Coast.
Yeah.
That's always a really popular one for you, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, I love going to the coast. You get some more of these forests we're talking about. I mean, it's not really beach time. I mean, you definitely can take walks on the beach, but you just have to really be so much more aware of the tides, of sneaker waves. The ocean is just so much higher and faster and stronger than it usually is. So it's just always a little bit dicey. And if you get a little bit of blowing rain out there in the beach this time of year, it's miserable, actually, to be out there. So... but a lot of good forest hikes out there. I mean, just my brain is just cycling through them all so quickly. I can't even pull one out of there. But over like Cape Perpetua and Yachats, there's some really great backcountry hiking trails in there that you can just hike for miles and miles and miles through this beautiful old forest. There's a lot of stuff like that. If you want to go backpacking this time of year, which... good for you. You can. And there's a lot of good spots in the coast and in the Coast Range to do that kind of stuff without there being a lot of snow to worry about.
Yes, absolutely. And then we've also got Central Oregon going like more to city vibes. You wrote down Bend, but also Seattle as places.
Well, I think what I was sort of thinking was, we'll get to those in a second, actually. But I mean, you are bringing up a good point of like the Central Oregon is like a whole other outdoors vibe.
Yes.
That the snow is sometimes a little bit more possible because that is the high desert out there. We're coming off the Cascade Mountains. There is going to be a little bit more snow out there. But you can certainly get to some really cool outdoors adventures out there, just walking around in these desert trails, whether you're at Smith Rock, which a lot of people like to do this time of year, or some of the, really anywhere around Bend or around Central Oregon. There's so many good desert trails to explore. But I think, when talking about these more city environments, I think, aside from this piece of you can go outside, you can get some good fresh air. This time of year is also such a great time to do like traveling to busy places that are normally busy in like the spring and summertime. So like you can go to the coast and do everything you would do in the summer for the most part, but have there be no crowds. So like, for example, this is a great time of year to go to Seaside, because I'm not going to go to Seaside in July. Absolutely not. It's insane. It's crazy. There's nowhere to park. It's just like a zoo there. But I've gone there in January and it's been great.
Yeah, if you can bear the cold weather, if it doesn't bother you, it's the perfect time.
Yeah, you get to go to any of the restaurants and not have there be big waits. You can explore all the sites and not have there be a bunch of crowds. If the crowds bother you, not everyone is bothered by the crowds, but if that kind of thing bothers you, this is a great time of year to go to these places with the expectation that not everywhere's going to be open the same hours as usual. Some places are not open at all in the winter, especially on the coast. But you can, if you want to just sort of sneak in there, it's a great time of year to take these trips, to go a little farther afield and actually go and explore these regions.
Agree. I actually went to Sisters like a couple weeks ago. Like we had spoken about your 2026 travel recommendations, and it just kind of ended up that I was in Sisters for like one day. And
how did you just end up to be in Sisters for one day?
So friends of a friend invited me on a cabin trip.
Oh, wow.
And so we were there for just like one night, basically, just out hanging out in Sisters, and just had like one afternoon to check out the town, and we were mostly staying in the cabin, but it was so like quaint and empty, but like perfect, I think, for going out there and visiting. Like we obviously went to the bakery, we walked around the downtown, visited a bunch of antique stores, and there were no crowds. There was like nobody there. There were still baked goods right before the bakery closed.
Wow.
Which I don't think you would get if you went during the busy season.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of pros for being able to do that.
Exactly. I feel like that's the time of year where if you live in a small town, you're a small business, you're like telling all the locals, hey, please come get us through this slow time. So if you're there as a visitor, you're really getting sort of more of the local flavor there. You're seeing the locals there. Maybe you're interacting with these people more.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can sort of feel like a local in these small towns more than when you're there with 10,000 tourists.
Yes. Yeah, and it's very like, it's got a more peaceful energy. It's more relaxing. It's more slow. You're not feeling rushed. There's not like a million people in line for the coffee shop or the bakery.
And that's what I love about, traveling this time of year. Like Seattle is a place I've been to in like February.
Yeah.
And I love Seattle in February. It's great. It's a big city, obviously. So there's always people there. There's going to be traffic. People who work there. But I always feel like I just love bopping around the city and seeing the museums. I've done like all the museums in Seattle, and I think it's been during Museum Month in February.
Yes.
And there's no crowds. And these are these huge places like, Museum of Pop Culture, the Chihuly Museum. You can really do that without these just crushing crowds by just going in this off season. And then you get to, just drink more coffee, I guess, because it's cold and dark. Which is fine.
You get to have more warm drinks, more excuses to hang out by fires and be cozy and take breaks.
I mean, twist my arm to get me to drink more coffee in Seattle. Like I'll do it if I have to.
Someone's got to do it.
That's right. So I think, you've got these places, Seattle, the coast, Bend, Sisters, Hood River, these like sort of big tourist destinations. I love doing this, again, zigging when people's, zigging people zag, right? Of like going when people are not, and just finding these sort of little off times to go and check places out. It's a great opportunity, excuse to sort of get out there this time of year. But I also love taking the opportunity to stay close to home because it is not quite road trip season, right? Like this is not the time of year I'm typically thinking about driving 6 hours across the state.
Fair.
In part because the days are short. And 6 hours, I don't have a lot of daylight to do 6 hours, right? I get the place and it's already dark and places are closed and I say, well, I guess that's it. But you can go to these smaller towns nearby and sort of, for us in the Portland area, there's so many like great little like downtown districts around here, right?
Definitely. Yeah. There's so many different like neighborhoods as well that you can go check out.
Yeah, taking, like you said, using this energy of the new year to sort of be like, you know what, I'm going to go check some places out that I haven't been to before. Like, I haven't really hung out in downtown Oregon City. Or like, hey, what's downtown Camas like? Have you been to Camas?
I don't think I've ever been to, I've driven through Camas to go on a hike.
Sure.
So I haven't actually been to the downtown area, but I did like get people talking about it on my social media recently. Like recommendations for just hanging out in downtown Camas?
It's cute. It's great. I mean, full disclosure, I used to live in Camas, so I used to go there a lot.
Oh, I didn't even know this about you.
Just for a few years. And so I lived within walking distance of downtown Camas, so I would like walk down to the coffee shop. I don't know if it's still around, Cafe Piccolo. I used to hang out in Cafe Piccolo or go see movies at a little theater there. There's a breakfast spot, like a Russian breakfast place, where there were like some like Russian grandmas like in there with their aprons making food. Just like there's little shops and restaurants and some really good food down there in downtown Camas. And like, I don't know, you don't always think to go to like these little districts if you don't live there.
Yes.
But it's cool to like give yourself an excuse to go check it out for a day. And so many hikes, like you said, around all of these places because we live in the Pacific Northwest.
Exactly.
You're going to find just nature surrounding everywhere you go.
Yeah. I don't know if this isn't far enough away, but like the only small town area that I have a lot of familiarity with is St. John's.
Oh, sure. Oh, you're right. It's like technically a Portland neighborhood, but
it feels so separate because you're so far from everything else. It's like almost up there towards Vancouver as well. But that's another one where like that whole downtown area is one of my favorite places to go back to. And it's probably also like the combination of nostalgia and that being where my college neighborhood was.
Oh, yeah.
But the experience of like, there's so many little coffee shops and restaurants and like dessert shops up there. There's like a great little Mexican grocery store that makes some of the best like Mexican food up in Portland, I fully believe. So there's so many little like areas that you can just bop into as well.
Well, shout out the name of that Mexican grocery store.
Tienda Santa Cruz.
Okay.
That one is by far one of my favorite places to get Mexican food.
All right. I got to keep that in mind. It's like every time I feel like I have to go to St. John's, I have to go to St. John's.
You get to go to St. John's.
Yeah. From Southeast Portland, it's like such a trek. I was going to the camera store there, Blue Moon, a few weeks ago, and it was like, oh, this is going to be like an afternoon. But instead of thinking about it like a chore, I could have been like, okay, you know what? Let's spend the day in St. John's.
It's a little day trip now.
Sparrow Bakery is right there.
Yes.
The Portland outpost of Ben's own Sparrow Bakery. Again, another movie theater there. So many good little restaurants, pizza places. My God, I mean, yeah, St. John's is like a little town, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, they have everything up there.
And the most beautiful bridge in Portland.
Yeah, obviously.
I'm glad we're in agreement about that also.
Yes. And so what other kind of like local small town areas that would you recommend for people?
I mean, I love Oregon City so much. It's especially because it's like in 10 years it's going to be really good when they get the Willamette Falls development stuff figured out, and it's going to be like 10 years before they get that figured out. It's going to be really, really cool. But even without that, taking the elevator from the cute downtown, the like outdoor elevator up to the promenade, and then walking along the promenade, that's good any time of year.
Really pretty like views and lookout spots as well. Like I haven't really spent time in the downtown area, but I've stopped through to like look at some of the sites and check it out a little bit. But tell me a bit about this project because I haven't heard about it.
The Willamette Falls Development Project?
Yeah, tell me.
Boy, how much time do we have? It's the Willamette Falls, the waterfall there that you can see.
Yes.
Is one of the largest waterfalls by volume in the country. And it for, the last 150 years or so, it's been the site of industry. Paper mills, hydroelectric facilities. I think it was one of the first hydroelectric facilities in the nation at Willamette Falls. Used to power downtown Portland. And that industry has been dying away and pulling back. And so that land has been purchased by various interests. On one side, on the Oregon City side of the waterfall, the old Blue Heron paper mill is now bought by the Confederated Tribes of Grand Ronde, who are tearing down all those buildings, which is going to be such a project. And they're putting up a development. That idea is sort of still in the works, but the idea is to sort of have like cultural centers, places to eat, places to see,
awesome.
To get people closer to the waterfall. Because right now there's no way to get up anywhere towards the waterfall unless you're in a kayak. And even then, you can't even get that close. So the idea is like, let's bring people back to the waterfall for the first time in like centuries. which is really cool. And the other side of the waterfall in West Lynn, you've PGE, Portland General Electric, is still operating hydro there, but the paper mill there is also going to be torn down, and they're going to build a park over there. And that's a whole other group of interests that are doing that project. So there's like these different projects happening over there. They're going to restore the locks over there. So like if you're in a kayak or a boat, you can like go through the locks to like paddle your way up or down the Willamette River.
Oh, that's awesome.
Which is really cool. And so like they're just configuring this entire area that has been dominated by industry for so long, and it's going to make Oregon City like really cool. Like that's shaping up to be like the hub of activity in this really cool town.
That's incredible, because right now it's just like very industrious of an area. You kind of like go through and you're kind of taken aback by all of the infrastructure, everything that's down there. So I feel like that'll definitely change the landscape a lot.
Yeah,
so it's very cool.
It's very exciting. It's and it is a project that's going to take a long time to do, but
something to look forward to.
Exactly, and that's like reasons to go to these towns. I don't know. It's like I love, dropping into a little town and sort of checking out the little museum and checking out the little bookshop and the cafe. Like I love just seeing like the flavor of a community like this, and looking at the bulletin board. I don't know if you do this. I look at like every bulletin board in a small town cafe.
I do that too, yeah.
Yeah, the flyers for stuff.
There's always interesting things.
Or like someone teaching harp lessons. I don't know.
Maybe I want to take up harp,
You never know. Exactly. So, I mean, I think there's so many towns like this. McMinnville's another good one.
Yes.
Vancouver is a great one. Vancouver, Washington is a great spot to go. I think people avoid it for reasons of they feel like it's too far or something. But
it's like the traffic is scary for a lot of people.
Yeah, but you
go during an off time.
Go on a weekend.
Yeah.
Or go in the middle of the day.
Exactly.
If you have like a Wednesday off, go to Vancouver. It's great. So many good places to eat, so many good hikes, so many great bike paths. If you want to do some like biking, Vancouver has an incredible bike path. These greenways all over the city. It's really, really great.
Interesting.
Fort Vancouver, pretty interesting also.
Yes.
And lots of good places to eat. Like no surprise, I feel like Vancouver doesn't get quite the same recognition because it gets overshadowed by Portland. But I've had some great food in Vancouver.
Yeah, you don't really think about it too much, but it is one of those places that I need to check out more. I usually go there for more of the nature stuff. So I feel like I'm usually going up to either check out a hike or a waterfall, or the beaches up there are really nice because you get a different side of I think you get the sunset when you're in Vancouver if you go on the left side of the west side of the city. So you can get some really pretty sunsets on the Vancouver side.
I bet, yeah.
So I haven't checked out much of the city though, so that's a great idea.
Well, I love just like combining these things together. You have these outdoor excursions like we're talking about at the top of the episode, like you just mentioned. And yeah, like while you're out there, stop in the local town, wherever it is, and just take the opportunity to try something new to eat or to see something different.
Yeah.
For me, that's really where the joy of travel comes in, is not just going to my destination and that's it, but like really taking the opportunity to see what these places are about, to see what this region is really, doing, what people are doing here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Does that make sense?
Like you said with the locals too, like the locals what are the locals doing this time of year? And you're going to kind of be able to get more of that authentic experience of seeing a small town, visiting, and not just getting the touristy kind of like surface level of what a place is. You're kind of getting that deeper experience.
Yeah, I feel like this post-holiday time is a little pocket.
Yes.
A little pocket of time where you can just say, hey, look, I traveled so much, I'm done. Or you can say, I'm going to take advantage of this moment and go out there and see some places when, it's not only about yourself, about being like, I don't want to be around crowds, but also it's like, let me help out these small businesses that are not getting that much travel this time of year. Off-season travel is so helpful for the little cafes, the little shops that are getting like no one in January.
Yeah.
They can at least get you, and that's something.
Yeah, you are saving so many businesses just by going and being a patron at a lot of these places, because this is a really tough time. So that's a great reason to just go out there to begin with.
Absolutely. I feel like I'm getting myself excited about going out doing something here.
Is there anything you're like dying to go do this winter?
I mean, I think it just, when I was talking earlier about that feeling of that breath of fresh forest air, it's not that it's been like so long since I've done that, but I just was getting so excited about it.
About going outside and breathing.
Yeah, exactly. I want to go back out to the forest like immediately now that I mentioned. I just felt like my body just responding to like that idea so much. Just started to crave like that feeling. So, boy, I got to get out there.
Yeah, I think that should be like everybody's New Year's resolution. It's just like go outside and like forest bathe a little bit more.
Get off your phone. Go look at a tree.
Great idea.
What about you? Are you feeling drawn towards any of these things?
I think I really want to check out more of these hikes that you're mentioning as like trail running destinations, because I realized that like I basically just run the same path all the time during my training, and I run on these pavements everywhere, and I never like really dabbled in trail running because I was like, oh, it's hard. You're running uphill. But it's actually quite fun. It makes the experience like more enjoyable. It goes by quicker, and it is more challenging, so you feel a little bit better at the end of it. So I'm into this idea of like exploring nearby neighborhoods and sections of Portland through the trails and running through the areas.
I imagine trail running is better on your knees.
It is, in a lot of ways you're not hitting the pavement as hard, so it's better for your knees for sure in that way. But it's also like you're going uphill, so you're also hurting yourself a little bit. I don't know if it's necessarily that great, but
you can find some good trails that are not uphill, that are outside.
Exactly.
The Warrior Point Trail on Soggy Island.
Okay, yeah, I have heard a lot about this one.
It's like, I want to say 8 miles out and back.
Right.
Flat. Pretty much flat, but muddy. Again, that's this time of year. You get your mud shoes on, you can go anywhere.
I'm kind of I've resigned to being muddy when I go out and run. At this point, I have to just like wash my shoes every time I get home. Yeah. So I'm used to it.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. That's the price you pay for going out this time of year. It's definitely worth it. But you might get a little muddy.
Yeah.
You might get a little wet. That's okay. Well, folks, that's going to do it for us for today. Until next time, you can watch our videos on the Oregonians YouTube channel and view all of our travel and outdoors coverage on OregonLive.com/travel, as well as HereIsOregon.com.
Please leave us a rating or review if you enjoy the show, and if you want to support this podcast as well as our local journalism, please consider a subscription to Oregon Live. You can find details at OregonLive.com/subscribe. Also, if you're a fan of the show and you're interested in potentially sponsoring it, you can get in touch with our marketing people at advertise@oregonian.com. This episode of the show is produced by me alongside Jamie Hale, Teresa Mahoney, and Vicki Connor.
Stay safe and happy travels, everyone. Until next time, we leave you with this 10 seconds of Zen.